Max and Oxy, episode 7. Episode 5 of the Pentalogy. Cat power! Narrator, what is a wraith? A wraith is a spectral figure supposedly seen as a premonition shortly before or after that person's death. How does one become a wraith? Wraiths can only be created by murder, particularly murders involving a betrayal or committed in cold blood. The trauma associated with such a death can cause the spirit of the deceased to become trapped in a plane that they are no longer part of, being there and not there, but there. Oksana's face. That's how you become a wraith. Shoop! Blood starts to flow from 2 puncture wounds on Oksana's right cheek. There's some bizarro calliope music that sounds like it's coming from a snake. Outside a window, there's real deal pyramids on the landscape. Oksana steps back and falls into a giant Stargate mirror. She falls through the other side of the mirrored surface and is plunged into a sea of phantasmagorical shapes and sounds and feelings and intuitions and sense inputs blossoming like flowers and hungry leaves, praying for the showers of electromagnetic radiation and a reason to keep going. She wasn't dead, and she didn't even know she was dead. She didn't care because she couldn't care because she was dead alive. And of course, there's some fucking system in place that makes it impossible to just chill the fuck out. No. Oxy is folded back into 12 dimensions, an absolutely horrific transformation and loss of information, so much so that you never recover. You're always pissed. You're a bitch. Once, she was roughly back to the Oksana that we all know and love. Walls materialized, or lines, or something, and then some kind of impossibly large, colorless entity shifting in space like a giant snake or the Loch Ness Monster. The thing turns into a hoof and the handle to a toilet materializes out of the ectoplasmic matrix, and Vigo the Carpathian is there, and he just took a dump on the highest hill of some town he just sacked. He flushes the toilet, and space and time slowly start to swirl into a gulping mouth at the bottom of the toilet bowl. Oxy runs, but she can't run fast enough. She can't do shit. She's sucked down the drain, back to shitty reality, back to time, distance, and pain. She was laid out on the side of the road at exit 13 of the New Jersey Turnpike. She was about to be run over by a state worker driving a large lawnmower. Woman looks down. Woman looks around. Kills engine. Woman comes down. Carefully picks up Oxy and puts her in her hard hat. They drive on the lawnmower together. It's a little bumpy at times, but the sound of the engine is like the purr of a large metal cat, like the individual pieces of Voltron. The hat is warm from the remaining heat stored from the woman's head, and the sun is gentle and forgiving. And the smell and the atmosphere of the grass being reaped for nothing below is like a Caligulan parade. Something changes, things get darker. Something's looking this way, but it can't see her. Oksana's paws start moving involuntarily. She steals a paperclip from a pile of paperwork and hides it in her cheek. They drive all the way back to the woman's house on the lawnmower. They jump off and they let the lawnmower drive on. The house is shaped like a teacup and directly across the street from Satan's house. Oksana is dead, dying, or was just dead, tired, and her recovery was going miserably. The woman's house was like a parent's house after they died, fading, turning into something else. She takes her back through a series of rooms that all smell disgusting in their own way, to a small bedroom in the back that looked like every spare bedroom in the back. There was a large window. Outside was a wintry mix of bone-chilling wind and snow, no true mountains, but interesting rolling hills with patches of forest. Woman takes her jacket off. She straps Oksana to the bed like in misery. "I'm not going to eat you," says the woman. Oxy's hair stands on end. "I've been waiting for you," she says. "I've been waiting forever. And now the time has come. She puts blocks between Oksana's legs. Woman, I need some information from you. She goes to the corner and grabs a large mallet. Have you ever heard of Cleopatra? Oxy stares. She's about to say something when the head falls off of a large mallet and puts a mortar round impact crater crack in the wood floor. Woman, fuck! God damn it! How the fuck am I supposed to carry out these tasks with this shitty equipment and no fucking backup? Fuck this, I quit. Woman puts her jacket back on. Oksana, is there any way you could release me from here? Woman glares at Oxy like smelly shit on a shoe. Then she smiles. Woman, no. She pulls a lever on the wall, and a large rectangular hole appears in the ceiling, directly over Oksana, perpendicular to her waistline, but centered on her belly button. Gears clank, jangled, and clashed in the ceiling. A steampunk sputtering and stuttering is heard, and down comes a half-moon bladed pendulum, swinging through the air like an atom-thin obsidian saber. Woman walks away towards the bedroom door, and you see this hourglass tattoo on the back of her neck, and you totally know that she is the Black Widow. She looks back, goes through the door. She stops, not looking back. I know who you are, she says, and then falls to the floor in a mass of spiders that scurry away into dark corners, leaving only a jacket on the ground. Oksana looks at the slowly approaching pendulum blade set to divide her in two. She spits the paperclip onto the bed and fashions a lock-picking device. She frees her arm and legs and rolls off just in time. The pendulum continues its descent, becoming more violent and erratic as it slashes its way through the bed, then the floor, revealing more and more of its giant robotic body that crawls out of the ceiling like a spider lowering itself from its web. The floor opened up, then there was dirt, then the thing burrowed into the bowels of the earth. It had been in that home for 43 years, and so began the search for a new home. Hopefully, somewhere far away from North Jersey and Brooklyn. Oksana stands up and looks at herself in the mirror. Blood starts running out of her nose, and then there's this piercing sound like in Pi. And she starts screaming, and all these memories start flooding into her brain. Mirrors are everywhere, reflecting reflections of reflected reflections, smashing right into your face like a pint glass full of reality, dammed by some cosmic levee that's just given way. You and your family are on the beach when the alarm goes off, and there's pyramids and a snake, an Egyptian cobra or an asp and Cleopatra, and you couldn't protect her from herself. The asp bit her throat and injected poison into her veins. It tasted her blood. Asp, whoa, 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 whoa. This is the best blood that I have ever tasted. The asp turned slowly toward Oksana. Asp, and how about you? Hypnotizing music starts playing. The asp's eyes turn into spiraling saucers, then teacups, then towers. And the snake is like, sleep, you're a baby. Close your eyes, drift away. Oksana's eyes start spiraling out, start to close, and she starts falling backwards, and the snake moves in on her. There's a stargate behind her, which was a gift from the Anunnaki that Cleopatra used as a vanity mirror. The snake struck the right side of her face and recoiled. She swayed as the poison coursed through her veins. She stumbled backward, and the snake watched intently with kaleidoscopic eyes. The split second she was about to die, she tripped over Mark Antony's sword, fell backwards into the stargate, and disappeared. The snake is just sitting there like, what the fuck? Then, all these shadows start moving in the corners of the room, and the snake starts to hear all these ghostly whispers. Snake's looking left, looking right. The shadows fall on Cleopatra's body. and pull her soul out of its cocoon. She's a hot spirit. She checks herself out in the Stargate. Does a superhero leap to flight right through the ceiling, leaving a trail of pixie dust in her wake. Then, the shadows jump on Mark Anthony's body. They rip his putrid soul out. It's on fire. He's screaming in pain. One of the shadows smashes his face apart, and it comes back together, screaming in horror. He's dragged through the floorboards in slow motion like quicksand, over the mechanical reality of meat being lowered into a meat grinder. When it was done, the shadows turned to the snake. The snake looked back at them and tasted the air with its tongue. One of the shadows got out the work order. There was definitely a work order for a cat. He gets out this really nice Mont Blanc pen, scribbles out cat and writes snake. The snake kind of looks up and over to see what is happening. They look back at the snake and put the paperwork back in their fanny packs, their shadow fanny packs, and start moving in. Then, the snake is like, fuck. Blackness, blackness, more blackness. The camera pans out to reveal this snake chained to the wall of a mountain, curled tightly on a small rock shelf. The snake looks over the edge, and the distance is dizzying. Then this giant Pharyngeus hawk swoops down and pecks one of the snake's eyes out of its head. The blow effectively enfeebling the snake, the coiled mass loosens, and the snake shits itself. The bird's raptor claws dig in at key agony points, and the snake becomes a transistor of infinite pain. Then blackness, blackness, more blackness. Then the camera pans out to reveal the snake chained to the wall of a mountain, curled tight on a small rock shelf. The snake looks up, and the face of the mountain goes vertically up to a point that is obliterated by the dry, unforgiving light of the midday sun. Then this giant Pharyngeus hawk swoops down and lands on the ledge. It looks around, and then looks at the snake, Hawk. This job is the fucking worst. It turns around and sits down with its hawk legs over the edge of the ledge. The hawk takes out a bag of drum and rolls a cigarette with one hand. The hawk pulls out a Zippo with the words "No Gravity" scratched into the side over top of a crude engraving of Raccoon Mario. Hawk lights the cigarette. Hawk, do you want one? Snake, yes, please. They sit on the ledge of the mountain and smoke a cigarette. Hawk, I feel like my mind is frozen. I feel like absolute zero. Like I don't move when things happen, or that things don't even move when they move. Snake, you have demons in you. Your brain is infected with devils. Hawk looks at the snake. Hawk, you really think that's true? Snake, after a deep exhale of smoke. I've seen it many times. The snake opens its mouth wide and takes the tip of its tail and starts fishing behind its right incisor. Its face contorts in pain as it rips something from the front of the roof of his mouth. Then something gives. Blood flows from the mouth of the cobra. The cobra smiles. Cobra, it's a venom sac. If bitten, you die. But if eaten, the poison will become a powerful medicine. It will selectively poison your devil puppet masters and free you to live your life as you please. The hawk looks at the snake. It takes the venom sac and eyes it in the sun. The hawk takes a drag of its cigarette, then flicks it out into the great wide open, where the wind smokes it all the way down, until it's a point, and then nothing at all. Hawk looks at the snake. Snake looks at the hawk. Hawk, here's to a new world of possibilities. Hawk drops the venom sac into its mouth and swallows it whole. Hawk looks out longingly into a new world of possibilities with hope, and then dies. The snake looks at the warm corpse of the hawk and then out into its new world of possibilities. It takes a drag of the cigarette and then flicks it over the ledge. Snake, time to get to work. Then, the sun becomes Max's head. Max looks down and he says, time to get to work. And we are floating over post Grand Mal Oksana on the floor of the Black Widow's house. She gets up, wipes her nose. She picks up the Black Widow's coat and puts it on. Inside the pocket are some spiders, a pack of cigarettes with one left, 3 loose Zanny tombstones, and a photo of a robot. Oksana flips the photo over and there's an address on the back, Brooklyn, New York. She hears the riding lawnmower coming near. She eats one of the tombstones. Well, I guess we're going to Brooklyn. Through the window, you see Oksana run, jump onto the riding mower, and ride off into the distance.